feel like out of any tournament we've had so far with seeding, at least for like one of the initial rounds, I feel like the seeding was actually really well done this time. So the seeds, I feel like for these group stages are pretty close to accurate, I'd say. As close as they could have been, but at the same time, we got like Pika Pals is like a 5 seed and stuff like that in some of the other groups. So it's yeah, you never know. But yeah, this should be an interesting race. We are racing basically a throwback to the spring tournament with defeat cannon, randomized swords, standard opening, and normal mode. So let's see maybe we'll get that bomb start everybody hopes and dreams for. Oh, come on. That's like the best. I'd say that or bow is like the best thing to get.
Yeah, they are.
Actually, no.
They are the fastest for standard randomized, for sure.
And the blue mail. Nice opening there. I still want one of the interesting things about standard mode with randomized swords is the whole, you'll get, like, the worst thing to get is bombs, obviously. Because it doesn't actually, like, unlock anything in the seed. Like, getting hammer at the start, like, we're already, 1 of 3 pieces away from getting to the Dark World right after that.
Yeah, definitely hammer is probably my favorite, and then the bow. Least favorite probably the blue cane, just because, except for maybe like Spike Cave, doesn't really imply anything in logic for progression.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bombs. At least the bombs are useful because then you can utilize them in Kakariko as well. So they have their use there.
I mean, it's funny because like bombs are, the slowest the slowest weapon for getting through all of escape, but at the same time, you have bombs, so you don't have to worry about farming bombs, such as that 8-drop for Makinx right there. Real nice.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, the nice thing about having the hammer is there's no ammo. You can't run out of hammer. So you have just pretty much unlimited amount of time to farm up. And hopefully get those bomb drops. Of course, you don't want to spend too much time. Spend like an extra minute trying to search for bombs, and then Back of Escape has like junk items.
Yeah, really the only challenge our runners going to face with that hammer is just the limited hitbox. But this is not a Sword of the Seed. It is pretty vanilla, as you stated, Ganon's standard, normal, randomized weapons. So hopefully they run into a sword soon, but if not, that'll probably be a little more fun for us to watch, being swordless aficionados.
There's going to be one Kakariko problem.
There's going to be
we're going to be like 2 swords and Dark World Axis in Kakariko. Oh gosh. There was a seed, I think it was yesterday, where they had hammer, pearl, and mitts in like the first 6 minutes of the race. And in my opinion, I hate those kind of seeds because I'm like, I don't know where to go. Where do I go? What do I do? The world is and they had the flute, so it's like I have too many things I could do right now, and that's a problem. That's what we call a jet seed, for the most part.
Yeah, until you exercise 40 locations Light World.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no major hiccups for our runners right now. We're not going to expect any at this stage anyways, and both should be used to that hammer start. Of course, we did have that spring tournament with the randomized weapons as well. So, yeah, pretty vanilla stuff going on right now. A lot of hammer swipes, and jmeasher is still looking for bombs. Can't find any, unfortunately. So it'll be interesting to see if jmeasher actually can't find any bombs versus Max 8 bomb drop there, and see if back 3's anything.
I mean, the worst case scenario for him is that there's a glove back there, and he actually has to go through escape again.
That's the worst.
Just to get there. It rarely happens, but when it does, man, is that painful.
Yeah, it's definitely the worst scenario that I can think of happening in a standard moment race.
So after all the... go ahead.
I was going to say, so he got that off of guard. So with the Ropus here, he should be able to see a bomb drop if he kills enough. I believe the mice are different. There's the 8 bomb, so he got it off the Ropa Kid. I was going to say, the rats actually have a different item pool, so the Ropas were his big hope there, and he did end up getting it.
do the rats share the same as the green guards, and the ropes share the same as the blue guards, or something like that?
I think so. Yeah, I'm the rats might be separate from the guards itself, but I do know the ropers definitely share with some guards.
One of my favorite is if you get like Samaria start or Burna start, that first sewer room with the water, you go up to the top right, you just kind of stand there, and like there's like at least 4 rats just like chilling up there, and you just sit and watch them all like run into your Samaria block, and you're like, come on, you know you're gonna give me at least 1 bomb here.
Yeah, I actually call that the slaughterhouse, just because they all run into the red block, and there's our pearl.
Oh man, it's looking like that early Dark World.
Yeah, already Hammer and Pearl. That's a pretty quick start for 5 minutes in.
I think my race against Ninban the other day had 2 gloves in escape. It was great. 2 gloves in escape, and I think it was it was Samaria start, but I've never seen, like, it's very rare to see two gloves in escape, so that kind of threw me off.
Yeah, I think I had one of those once, and I had like Pearl and Kakariko by 6 minutes. I just went right to Dark World. I actually really enjoy those kind of starts because it's like something different than just, you know, doing Kakariko to South Shore or exercising like, say, Sash. And then you can kind of just get a little creative with the route, which is nice.
It's even better if you can somehow stumble upon the mirror, and then you can kind of route in both like Hype Cave and then Mini Moldering Cave and kind of route everything in together. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get at least a glove coming up here. We just got it. And interesting to see. A lot of people do like to just finish out the light world and then finish out the dark world, you know, bits and pieces. But some people are just like, you know what? Let's just go right into Thieves Town. Let's check it out, see what happens. Oh, baby. That's a nice sword. All right, well, that's one less sword that we're going to be seeing in this seed. You know, this could be throwback to the spring tournament. Lumberjack sword was the second sword in my seed. So I had to, I beat Ganon Agatower and then mirrored, did Agatower just to get my Master Sword.
I remember that race.
Oh, man. This is a good one.
I mean, it's definitely an option. Mac does have the information right now. jmeasher are going to be the first to Kakariko because, kind of similar to me, I don't like to really do the Lumberjack check without boots, or lamp, or the requirements for Agus. So he's just going to kind of go ahead and get that earlier at Kakariko. But again, just having that information of a sword could come in handy.
I just always find myself, if I do that, if I put it off, and then I get boots later, I just never wind up finding myself going over there, because it's like, oh, well, there's our glove. All right, well, that's Dark World Access. Right around the 8-minute mark.
Love these starts.
Because I'll find, like, the flute or something to allow me to skip having to go through the main door, or I won't have the mirror when I go check Bumper Cave or something. So, it's just a couple seconds, and you get to check the, you know, the bush crabs along the way, or the tree poles. Though I guess there's tree poles in Lost Woods as well.
There certainly are, but now becomes the question of when do our runners go to Dark World? I'm looking for at least divergence of one maybe going South Shore, one going Dark World, but we'll have to wait and see.
Flippers? Well, we are... Well, it's funny because, like, all of a sudden, you know, we have Dark World access. There's our first sword. First obtainable sword. And a bottle. Really nice Kakariko start. Now we just need to get the flute while we're in here, and the powder, and then we could just kind of clear most of the Kakariko stuff. Okay.
Wow.
Hey, I got what I wanted, kind of. Well then. That is quite an opening, I guess.
So I know you said you don't really like these kind of seeds just because it gives you everything. This seed's literally giving you everything.
Yeah, I don't like these kind of seeds.
There's gotta be like 60 locations open right now.
Here's the cool thing. Here's the funny thing. I really would, if this was hard mode, that Lumberjack sword, you know, would have been the Tempered Sword. So it's like, do I do Agatower for the Tempered Sword advantage? Or do I just finish the game with Master Sword? Yeah. That would have been interesting. But this is normal. So, of course, there's 4 obtainable swords in this seed. And just a matter of where that third sword is going to show up. A lot of 10 arrows, though.
All right, and jmeasher, what's he doing right now? Is he gonna make the play? Oh, he is.
He's going for it. It's.
Atta
I mean,
boy.
you might as well at this point with mitts. I could see him doing something else if he didn't get the mitts, because then you have to walk all the way up and around to get to the Dark World here. So you're likely gonna have to do it anyway. All right. Well, we got 3 Dark World pendants, including Skullwoods, Ice Palace, and Green Pendant Swamp. And we'll have both our Pyramid Fairy crystals in the Light World, which we haven't seen yet. But this, with pendant dungeons in the Dark World, and if they end up not being required, this is looking like it could be a potentially quick seed.
Nice half magic there at the chess game. Definitely going to make Dark World easier with the low health if they're able to pair with some safety such as that Blue Cane or Cape. Also, if they find stuff like the Fire Rod as well, they can kind of utilize with that to pair with the Fighter Sword. Make their dungeon dives a little bit easier here.
Oh, for sure. We also did see the the Ice Rod in Thieves Town. Don't interrupt me, Ice Rod. Very important, I know. The bug net was in the library. It was a very quick check for Makinx, but we did see that. Well, that's huge. That's good. It's nice to know that you don't have to do an Ice Rod hunt this seed. So probably going to have like a bow hunt instead for go mode. Because if it's not Ice Rod, it's bow. That's usually the order it goes in, right?
I mean, I'm still stunned how free the seed already is.
It's ridiculous.
Like they're gonna eventually like round into like the locked in locations. Like say they're just looking for hookshot, fire rod, go. The easiest items probably to kind of narrow down for sure.
Yeah. Cape that allows us to get the item from Bumper Cave, which we haven't seen yet. If we end up finding a fire rod, I could see jmeasher heading straight up to Skullwoods to knock that out. Though it's not as fun with just a fighter sword, but at the same time, Hammer Moth is not too hard. It's not too bad, especially when you have blue mail, so you can kind of get up close and personal with them. And they have a red potion too, so.
Alright, so not really finding much worth there in the dam on Makinx's side. He is going to dip into Mini Moldorm Cave here, 5 items. Meanwhile, jmeasher, of course, going through Thieves Town and just about to enter what we like to call the Hellway. Normally, you'd have boots for this in MMG and kind of do a little fun little dash through the middle, but unfortunately, he's going to have to walk through.
There's a fun little pixel alignment that allows you to just dash right on up, right past all the spikes, skip all the things, as long as the enemies don't get in the way. Unique item is in Palace of Darkness. That is going to be our first hint for the seed, and of course, with several items still MIA, that unique item could be anything. It could even be a single arrow, which I don't think we've seen that yet.
Joke. Yeah, the biggest joke of all.
I've personally, in this tournament, with the new hint system, have had a few seeds that really just came down to hunting for hints and letting that kind of direct my routing, which is kind of a cool, unique experience with with V30 that we didn't have before. It has certainly switched up the meta of this game and how people play it. And there's our flute. So that's a huge find too, all the way over in Ice Rod Cave.
That's going to be leading to some divergence now. Makinx actually can kind of hold on to West Darkworld now with that flute. He might just elect to check out, see what Myers' medallion is, check out Myers' shed, and he can go up to the mountain really if he wanted to. Limited amount of checks there, but he could get the warp now if he wanted to.
Yeah, the thing is, when you have all this Dark World stuff, I can see jmeasher putting off Ice Rod Cave for a very long time, especially because a lot of times players will want to wait till they get the flute so that they can just route over there a little bit quicker. But when flute is in Ice Rod Cave, you don't really have that luxury.
Oh, absolutely agreed. I mean, for his benefit, he doesn't have South Shore done yet, so he could route it in maybe with a sword play. But he has a whopping 8 rupees right now to his name, so
so much money. He just needs to go to Mini Moldorm Cave, which had like at least 400 and something rupees in it.
But yeah, I mean, he's going to want to get rupees soon too, because it could get to a situation where he might actually have to pass up on race game, which also can develop into a story here.
Are we going to see some archery game in this race to go get money to do the dig game?
Maybe. I hope so.
Oh man, I do too.
We all know the lineup now, so
I did realize how extremely free it is.
Yeah, I remember my first couple of races. I'm like busting my hump trying to hit those squids there, and
someone shows up like, "Hey, no, so much easier. Just stand here." Oh, okay. Yeah, when I was first testing out or playing through Inverted, actually failing at that game and getting frustrated and running out of money, it's pretty hilarious.
Me and a couple friends were in a bingo actually recently, and TGH was actually racing with us. And he's like, "How do I do the archery game?"
So did people tell him?
Oh yeah, we're teaching him the lineup, but
oh okay.
It just turned into expletive because we knew he kept missing. That was one of the squares raised the perfect archery game. So
yeah,
again,
that's a good card.
So
you gotta keep refreshing until you get that bingo card for sure. All right, Ether for our Meyer medallion, and we also gotta congratulate jmeasher getting the first player in this race to get a crystal. Nothing outside of that. Ice Rod and Cape in Thieves Town is pretty dang good, and that hint about Dark Palace. Unfortunately, Meyer Shed not really holding anything of value. If it had like a mirror or something, then it'd be huge, but it didn't. So.
That would have been like really amazing for divergence, because then we can see jmeasher just staying on the ground and Mac probably moving up north to the mountain. But
yeah,
looks like he's gonna hit up Hype Cave first. I like this play. I like hitting up Hype Cave as soon as you can. Dark World access. jmeasher meanwhile gonna have those Titans, gonna check out those hammer pegs. Might grab the Smith. Not sure how he's gonna play it out.
Yeah, it's a tough call. You never there's always the fear that purple chest or blacksmith are going to be holding the mirror.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to put off blacksmith until they have the mirrors to speed it up a little bit. So
I mean, a rule of thumb for me is if I can route back to the village like sooner than later, like say I leave Skull off and then I check it with like a fire rod, then I don't mind the play. But if it's like the only thing I'm carrying back, it's kind of very risk reward.
All right, well, Hype Cave and Peg Cave not really holding too much going on. We did see the single arrow, so that's one less unique item in the pool, which means that Dark Palace unique item, at this point, aside from maybe a red boomerang or a useless medallion, is going to be at least something of interest for our players.
And of course, we do know that unique item is in pods, so that could come into play here. Other things we haven't really seen a lot of right now, Sash Cave Eastern comes to mind. I mean, it's usually 5 items dedicated, even though it is potentially a sequence break without the lamp. And also Makinx Cave Desert area just as a scout, and even the mountain there with the flute right now. And of course the flipper lock location Zora area.
The difference in rupee count right now is alarmingly funny. Like, jmeasher not even having enough money to even do the archery game if he wanted to. So, if a digging game ends up having something, it might be really, that's going to be very beneficial for Makinx over jmeasher.
Yeah, I'm actually paying all my attention right now to Makinx's screen, because that could be big. Oh, and there's combos.
Okay. Well, all of a sudden, we can do Ice Palace.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much all of it, unless it's one of those weird Ice Palaces where, like, logically Samaria is required or Hookshot is required. Of course, I don't know. I don't know if I'd really want to do Ice Palace with 7 hearts and Fighter Sword, but, you can always fall back on hammer strats. They're slow, but they're effective, as long as you play it well.
Right, I don't think I'm a fan also with the equipment as well. I mean, if he had the half magic and maybe the fire rod hoop, then it wouldn't be so bad for the cold stare fight. But 7 hearts Fighter Sword is pretty rough.
All right, what do we got going on Pyramid? I'm assuming jmeasher is going to check this and then save and quit, go turn him in. We have 10 arrows, and he is not doing what I thought he was going to. He is actually going to walk all the way up to Catfish. This is the play. Honestly, for me, this is This is really slow. I like to check the amount of times that I've gotten bamboozled by a required item on pyramid that I put off for forever is hey, like my race against jmeasher. Actually, I think both of my races against jmeasher had something on pyramid. You know, if like the pyramid fairy crystals are like T-Rock or something really late game, I'll check pyramid early, or if I have the boots already, I'll check it. So
it's actually a pretty clever way of looking at it. Me personally, I just kind of go by feel, and if I'm doing the hype cave route to pyramid quakefish, as kind of like an early play, I don't mind doing it. I don't like doing the play later in the seed, just because, like you said, it's a lot of time commitment. So I'd rather kind of get that risk out of the way early if I'm going to make the play.
And just bombs, so unfortunate. But let's see if the blacksmith is holding on to anything of value for jmeasher that might give him a bit of a boost here. Of course, still really early to tell, and jmeasher does have the crystal advantage at this point. But Makinx has cleared a lot of overworld, both light and dark world at this point. And I'm curious to see if Makinx is going to go for the blacksmith afterwards, or if he's going to route up and make that, you know, the early Skullwoods dive, despite the fact not being able to complete it. But it is a pendant dungeon, so you might not have to complete it.
I'd be surprised if we don't see both our runners go to Skull right now. I mean, Mac kind of going the hype cave route westward back to the West Dark World Skull Thieves. So it's kind of natural for him to route in Skullwoods here. Meanwhile, jmeasher just cashing in the Smith. Might elect to get the purple chest in the Skull as a scout as well, because as we know, we could bring the purple chest into Skull by the drops. And
Oof.
Unfortunately, yeah, just 20 rupees there on the Smith.
That's unfortunate, yeah. The other thing is, you know, if Makinx does decide to do blacksmith at some point, like before having a mirror or boots or whatever, he does have the advantage of having the flute to kind of flute around, especially for turning it in purple chest, which isn't too bad when you could just save and quit with it to turn it in, but still.
Well, with jmeasher kind of routing in library race, I don't see him going back up north here. He might just S&Q and go south short at this point. And no, he's going to keep on walking. He's going to go north.
He is doing a lot of walking.
Or he's going to go right. All right, he's going to south shore.
I'd say this is probably slower than just save and quit and go to your house.
I'd agree. I just got bamboozled hard.
If honestly. He was gonna if he was like short on bombs, or was gonna pick up some bombs down there, maybe, I don't know. It's you know, a lot can happen in a randomizer race.
Yeah.
But these tiny little like time sinks, even just walking around, they add up. They add up over time, and we've had plenty of races. I don't think we've had a single tie in this group stage yet, but we've had a lot of races that have come down to 10, 20 seconds. So, and of course you can chime that off as, you know, that could, anything you could have done differently could have saved you 10 or 20 seconds, but
it's like menu time.
Yeah.
I think the closest race I know of right now was Ak and Lyra's game 1 came down to 6 seconds.
Oh my gosh. That's insane. Yeah, at this point, I'm anticipating, like you said, that Makinx is probably going to head up and dip Skullwoods. With Skullwoods being a pendant, I like the dip, the early dip without Fire Rod. Because this isn't all dungeons, we might not have to go kill Mothula, and having that knowledge of the value of Fire Rod and whether there are items locked behind it is good to know.
Yeah, I don't mind the skull dip at this point. I'm just not a big fan of doing it early, honestly, without the Fire Rod. It's to me, it's kind of hokey just because you can actually go in there not finding any items for like a minute 30 commitment. But you know what? It's been a play that's burned me in the past greatly as well. So it's probably a good idea to play it safe if you're feeling cozy with your execution and everything.
Well, right now our options are Zora's Domain area, which we're going to see from jmeasher here. He's going to get his flute as well, which is good.
Yep.
And he has the money now to go do stuff, so that's good. We have Sazrala's Hut and Eastern Palace, but I mean, we also have that pod dip and that pod unique item. Of course, we don't have a lamp and we don't have the bow, so depending on how the keys lay out in pod, we might be cut off really early. Of course, there is the potion glitch as an option, and both of these players have a red potion, and I'm sure are well aware of the glitch. That is totally allowed. So it's going to be interesting to see where these players go to next after this.
Yeah, quite honestly, it's going to take like a hook shot or a mirror to kind of put our runners off the inevitable path of Hashvilla to pod, honestly. Just having that information in Thieves Town that pod does have that unique item, they're going to want to kind of game it eventually just to see if it is that, like, say, maybe bow lock scenario. It could even be the bow. Who knows? Could
even be the bow. That first chest bow, I've seen it.
Oh my god, the worst.
It's awful. I hate it so much. If there's a required item in the first chest of pod, it's never a good feeling.
Yeah, nothing says lovely in a tournament setting when like it's first chest bow and you're like, oh well, that's great. If my opponent checked that like 30 minutes ago, I lost.
All right, we are making our north way up here in the dark world for Makinx. He's going to be probably checking Barber Cave first, yeah, and then heading over to Skullwoods. I don't anticipate him heading over to Catfish at all at this point. So, what do we got? Is it a mirror, maybe?
Ooh, it is.
It is.
That's a big find.
That is huge. All right, Cape the mirror. Woo.
That's going to be sketchy for jmeasher depending on what he finds in this Zora area. If he finds hookshot, he finds something worse.
Oh,
so
no.
Finds the bow, going to lead him to pod for that unique item. Yeah, that's going to put him off the mirror for a bit. Now the mirror potentially might not be required just because Swamp is a pendant, but for all we know, that might be the East Death Mountain access point that they need, and even a Tyrael Rock.
jmeasher needs like a fire rod on Zora or something.
Yeah.
To send him in the other direction. Oh, careful, Makinx. Those birds do a lot of damage.
He doesn't want to eat.
That was a huge play. That was a good play.
Yeah.
And it all came down to pretty much routing since Makinx came from Hype Cave to Village of Outcasts, as opposed to jmeasher going from Village of Outcasts to South. But yeah, Mirror opens up a lot of stuff. We could check the front half of Swamp. We can check Checkerboard Cave or Desert. We can do a good chunk of Death Mountain at this point, Tower of Hera. And eventually, when Makinx gets his bow, he can even do like pod mirror into Eastern kind of thing.
Yeah. And the problem with where that bow was is that it's pretty free. Like, it's definitely a location spot that Mac is going to have on his mind and he's eventually going to route to. Whereas where the mirror is, it's going to be tricky. Like, jmeasher is going to want to route in around Skullwoods to kind of get back in that area. Like you mentioned, he needs to find Fire Rods too to kind of put him back in that direction.
Unless he immediately flutes away right now, which he might do, I can easily see him just go right up, go into Skullwoods and check that. I mean, he knows, he did just get the cape from Thieves Town. He knows about it. He knows he wants to go check it. It's on his mind. It's fresh. So we'll see. We'll see what he does.
Yeah, he's also going to lose out if he does elect to go for the Bowlock dungeons in Pod and Eastern. He's going to lose out on the time save on doing Pod Eastern together with that mirror too.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we are getting the pod play. Depending on how well versed he is in dark rooms, if he can successfully get through them, they're kind of annoying. Especially the dark maze is really annoying. At least he does have a sword to kind of guide his way. Trying to do that swordless, not fun. But if this unique item ends up being something extremely important.
And Mac, just as I said, is gone right for that bow.
Nice. I like making that the Zora domain play as like early as can be, just because of the prospect of, water walking to get those items. So
yeah.
It's always safe to assume that my opponent did this earlier than me or is about to do it.
Now, interesting conundrum if you're Mac. You got the bow, but I mean, half a pod, half Eastern's not logic because of the lamp. Do you go up to the mountain because of that? And maybe you risk just finding the lamp or possibly other progression, or do you kind of just try to go on the beaten path and look for that unique item in pod?
I don't know. I feel like the unique item in pod would kind of direct me over there, but it really depends on how I'm feeling about that dark turtle room, because that one can be kind of a pain if you don't have the fire rod.
Yeah.
And if you have a fighter sword, I mean, your best bet is like hoping to just blind get the NMG strat to knock all the turtles over and then just bombos them or something. But,
so I must say, I do like the decision by Mac to go to the mountain instead. For me, like, yeah, you know, there's a unique item there, but I just got East Death Mountain, Darkwold Death Mountain opened up with that, and I'm gonna be able to get information in the T-Rock check here too. So I really do like the play.
Mm-hmm. The only downside is going to be is if like hookshot is the unique item in pod, so he has to like go back up, and then if there's something at hookshot cave or something. But chances of that are probably fairly slim. So it's difficult trying to find a balance between checking overworld and checking dungeons. You know, as soon as you have the ability to complete a dungeon, it makes sense to just go ahead and complete it, because you're always progressing towards finishing the game by doing that. But the prospect of go moding dungeons is a huge part of racing this game.
Yeah, just to get those time saves. I mean, like the Dream go mode Swamp or Ice, and the unique item in the Cat Creek go well. Several of them, really, but just listing
what
one.
Was in there?
Sword was in there.
Not listed as a unique item. That's something sharp. So it was... Nor is a bottle. Bottle's not a unique item. What was in there?
Flippers, I think.
Oh, yeah, flippers. Right in the first chest. Now, the other thing is, you know, Makinx still hasn't been to Pyramid or whatnot, but he now can get both Pyramid Fairy Crystals, so he'll be able to route in. The only downside is, like... Wow. Thanks, game. Appreciate it.
Oh my god, yeah.
Jeez, the plays. All right.
I would love to see it, dude.
That is a tremendous find. It's going to speed up so much for Makinx. And the other thing is, until jmeasher gets that beer, he's going to be really far from getting them boots. So, like we said before, you know, every second counts. And, oh, that's unfortunate. That bomb flipped the switch, but a lot of times, you know, people will, like, bomb it or something and then intentionally fall just to get back over there quick enough. But, that was not quick enough. I think that fell. Definitely fell. He should switch to the hammer if he's trying to get rid of these guys. Nice. That is a very friendly Hera. I didn't catch what the second hint was. Was it anything useful?
I didn't catch it as well either. I think it was something already known or a bad hint. But yeah, that was probably the worst thing that could have been for jmeasher on Makinx side. I was actually thinking maybe if the boots were in pod, that would be a lot more friendlier, but that's rough. That's really rough.
Well, once again, if that unique item in here is the hookshot, then he'll be getting them boots eventually. But of course, well, yeah, I mean, we don't know if we actually need the mirror yet, to be honest. It's still a nice item to have, of course, just for routing purposes. But with Swamp being a... Oh, never mind.
Oh, no.
That is not a unique item that you want to see.
So there could be more unique items in pod, but if that's it, I mean, I'd be mad at that hint, to be honest. But that as you said, like how it's changing the meta, this is a very textbook kind of account on how it works. Is that it's still risk and reward, unless you get like those direct hints that say like boots are here or fire rod is here, for example. You're really just kind of gambling it. I mean, I think it was It was one of the first races with V30. I had 3 hints telling me where unique items were, and I was 1 item away from go. I chased all 3 locations, and they were all fetch quests.
Wow.
So that's what I mean, is that you have to be very cautious with them.
Oh, and jmeasher accidentally walks into one of those Kadongos in the dark, so he's not going to be getting that big chest in this run. So he's going to have to go back through. I don't know if he knows the hammer jump or anything, which is really cool NMG style. NMG strat to get to the hammer chest in the vanilla game without having to go through the dark maze. We also did see another unique item here in Pod, which was the Cane of Burna. And Mushroom showing up in Spiral Cave for Makinx, so both players finding some good old fancy fetch quests. And there's the Cane of Samaria in Paradox Cave. Oh, well, there you go. Color me surprised. Not surprised. I was proven wrong. He does know the hammer jump.
I'm telling you, man, if this is a hover seat, I'm going to be so jealous.
We don't say that around here. Do not bring that up in front of me, all right? I don't want to know. But we could get that hookshot in first chest of Hookshot Cave. And jmeasher taking an intentional death to warp back to the beginning of the dungeon. And this is going to be the trip to Helmstar King, so let's hope that he can get through the dark turtle room without too much trouble. That room is a real pain, especially with this setup. And we do have Bombos for T-Rock, so is this going to be a Fire Rod and T-Rock seed?
Like, he's definitely going to open it up. There's a hint right at the entrance of T-Rock as well. That can maybe give him some more information. And yeah, it could definitely be one of those Fire Rock and TR seeds. Or maybe even, I think we have one more fetch item. Yeah, in the powder. It could be one of those kind of seeds as well. The double dip.
Yo, Ice Rod hint in the... Well, I guess it could be Cape.
Yeah, that was a pretty good hint. So yeah, not really a lot of value so far. I mean, again, we did have that pond hint, but until proven otherwise, pretty much junk. So,
well, this will determine if we're going to continue in here, and we are not. We are out of here. That's actually kind of nice. I would prefer that situation. Like, don't feed me a bunch of keys just to give me nothing on Laser Bridge.
I don't think I've ever gone to Laser Bridge. I've always been Jebaited, and the farthest I've gone is like Mimic Cave. But it always just ends badly for me, I find.
The last race I commentated, it was key, big key, and a Fire Rod on Laser Bridge.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's a rare sight to see, but it does happen every now and then. jmeasher working on this turtle room. I hate this room without Fire Rod, or at least like a better sword, because it's just like he's trying to use the hammer. Okay, he's bringing out the Berta. I mean, that's not a bad idea, but if if you can't tell where if the turtles are knocked over or not, yeah, this is unfortunate. I personally would not have gone for it without Fire Rod or at least a sword upgrade.
So there's a bit of a strat here you can use in the dark too, and he does have a lot of good conditions for it. He has the cape and half magic. Gamer Cal and I kind of hypothesized on how this could work, and you basically just equip the cape and let all the turtles kind of group up on you, and then you're able to flip them in the dark.
Oh.
Problem is with
I didn't
RNG,
think about that.
Yeah, with RNG it sometimes doesn't work because they're apt to kind of move on their own, as you know. But most times it's pretty solid.
I mean, the cool thing is if you wanted to practice that, you could easily open up the practice hack and like turn off the dark layer and just observe their patterns and movements when you walk into that room. Heart Piece and Spike Cave and jmeasher, unfortunately, taken to death there in the turtle room. So this trip to Pod turning out to be not as advantageous as he was hoping. And that Thieves Town hint, unless, I mean, Shovel could lead to something. I don't know. It's possible, but at this point, it feels like Makinx is just really running away with it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that was, 3 deaths? it's very time consuming. It's a
2 deaths in the
lot,
death
yeah,
warp.
a lot of time just getting back to the points and then dealing with difficult dark rooms here. So we'll have to see what jmeasher kind of does here to kind of get himself back into this.
And just having the mirror in pot as well is just convenient for, you don't have to waste time death warping if you can just mirror out, and you feel like you're going to fail, you can just bail real quick and then go to Eastern. But let's see what is in the back of Sahasrara's hut. If Lamp is in here, and our players are basically synced up at this point, we got a heart container. We got 10 arrows. We got a lamp. That hurts. That hurts so much.
Nothing's going this poor guy's way right now.
Yeah, I feel bad. But I've been there. I've been in those situations where everything you do is not right.
We all have, yeah.
And the worst thing is, the only reason he didn't check that was because he had the flute. And it's faster to just go ahead and flute to 5 and then go through the portal. But, personally, I mean, you got to think like, all right, Sahasrara's hut, that's a early location. My opponent more than likely probably already did it. So I should probably go ahead and do it. It's one of the fun parts about racing is you always got to think about your opponent. Of course, everything that you think that they're doing could be the opposite. And it's really easy to fall into the trap of my opponent is playing perfectly, and this is why I'm going to lose. That's why, even if I'm not getting restreamed, I don't have my mic turned on while I'm racing, because it's not a fun thing to listen to. Me constantly speculating on what my opponent's doing correctly and what I'm doing wrong. And not only is Makinx going to be able to see everything in this dungeon, he's going to do it quicker because he has the boots. He's going to do it quicker because he has the mirror. He's going to do it quicker because he has the lamp. So... And, I mean, it really just all came down to one location. I mean, we can all, based on, the bumper cave check.
Yeah, it's just tough, honestly. And like you said, it's that one item really leading to another item that's just gonna gradually give Makinx time over jmeasher anyways in the boots, just being able to do all these dungeons faster. And now that he's able to do it with the lamp too, I mean, pod essentially is gonna be a joke to him at this point.
Mm-hmm. Nice one, game. Thanks.
So hair is free.
Yeah, well, we already know that because both the items were like. So that's kind of a pretty useless hint right there. I mean, of course, that's news to jmeasher.
I was gonna say, but that's news to him.
And we did get all 3 items early, so jmeasher will get to skip the vanilla big key location and go straight to the boss. So that's a nice little time save. But that's gonna be a time save for both players. But for jmeasher, I mean, after this, I don't think he's checked Mire Shed. And I don't think he checked Spec Cave. So basically all he's got is Skull Woods, Purple Chest, and Bumper Cave to check. And he's gonna be saying some unfriendly words once he sees that mirror up there.
Most definitely. I think for him, his key to success here is just to get back into logic. And as you mentioned, there's only a finite amount of places he can go to. He needs to just kind of swallow the pride and just go back to following logic, checking out Skull if he has to, but just to get him on that path for the mirror here, because that seems to be really gating the progression of the seed. I
mean, the thing is, like, if there ends up being something in Skull Woods and Makinx has the ability to go do everything else, and misses out on whatever's there. I mean, and with Swamp Palace being a pendant, this could be one of those hook shot in GT seeds or hook shot in someplace really dumb.
Could be.
So it's not. Could be in Swamp. That is really dumb. It's not over yet. Makinx is looking real good right now, though. All right, we are going to see that shovel use come up here. See if that unique item from pod ended up amounting to anything. We already saw Spike Cave, so burn at a Spike Cave is nothing valuable. And we got 10 arrows. Dang. Oh, and we still have Agnes Cave as well. That's another one.
All right, so jmeasher going to go ahead and get his Scout of Mire now. Going to be able to check in, see what Mireshed has. Makinx going through his Helmasaur fight. Pretty standard stuff. I mean, does hammer first to break the mask, and then switches to bow on Fighter Sword, and he gets the Master Sword. That's actually a nice little reward.
All right.
So we know where 3 of the swords are now. He's definitely going to want to find that Tempered Sword, but I don't see him going through a 3.5-minute escape Hera or Aga Tower climb to get that Tempered
Escape
Sword.
Hera, Aga.
Yeah. I'm getting there, guys. It's okay. It's my first comm.
First time. Wow, you're doing hey, you're doing all right. You got some stuff to learn. Sure.
It's my first comm.
It's my first comm.
Yeah, it's like that joke. It's my first day.
I got you, man.
Yeah.
So interesting. Did Makinx just skip this entire back half and just go straight to Helma?
Yeah, he
looks
did.
like it. I mean, it's good because you can kind of. I mean, you have to do Helma. So if you can skip checking one chest and save a couple seconds here in the backup pod, by all means. I mean, we know the compass is right there. He knows too. That's why he's walking right past it. And jmeasher still, he's heading up. He's gonna go get his big 20 from Spec Rock, and he might I don't know, do the bomb jump and do Spike Cave. But I've been there, man. I hate when you last location an item in a race. I've done it so many times. The best thing you could do is just think to yourself, this is fine. I'll first half of the race, I screwed up. That's fine. Second half of the race, I'll just, make every right choice. It'll be free. It'll be great.
Oh man, and the big chest is going to be an item here.
Yeah, we already saw it.
Oh, he went back. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, he did the hammer jump. I think it was nothing special. Like a heart. Hey.
Nice.
All right, well, Makinx at this point is going to mirror and finish Eastern Palace, so nothing really new to see there. He'll get that Tower of Hera hint, and he'll scoff at it. But, yeah, until jmeasher heads to Bubber Cave and gets the mirror, he's kind of, or dips into Skull Woods and, I don't know, maybe finds the hook shot or something.
Interesting note, too, with Eastern being done now, or will be done momentarily by Makinx, he's actually going to have Fat Fairy as an available play as well.
Well, yeah, that's true. And you might actually run up and do... I think both players did Catfish at this point. Yeah. Because Makinx did the North Route past, like, Graveyard Ledge and all that. The interesting thing we can't forget is that jmeasher did still continue, he missed out on the Bombos medallion from Digging Game, which is required for T-Rock. So he's got to remember to go do that. And the scary thing about not doing Digging Game the first time you're like over there, or the second time you're over there, is it's really easy to muscle memory yourself into thinking you already did it. And that alone could be the game decider right there.
So developing story, jmeasher is going to go back to pod here.
Well, he's gonna get his Master Sword, so that's good.
Well,
but little by little, I mean, Makinx still has to he needs to find the Fire Rod, and he needs to find Ether. That's all he needs to get into GT. And then he still needs to find the hookshot. And ideally, another sword or the silvers. Master Sword silvers with cape, easy. Easy peasy. Tempered Sword silverless, easier.
yeah.
Even easier.
Well, I imagine if he does run into Ether or Fire Rod first, Mac is just gonna kind of leverage GT and hope the hook shot's there. Pendant-wise, not looking too friendly. I mean, Skull's a quick dip, but it's always where are the two items gonna be, back or front? And then Ice and Swamp are just particularly time-consuming, so he's gonna want to go where the girth, I guess, of all the checks are gonna be in that
Honestly,
22 location. GT.
With that Master Sword, with that acquired, I would go for the girthy hints in Ice Palace, but that's me. Because you never know, one of them could say, oh, by the way, hookshot is on left side swamp, or something dumb like that. It's possible.
That's actually quite a unique strat there by Makinx on the Armos Knight. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I've never seen someone actually clear Armos with bow without ever letting them start their circle animation. I've never seen that. That's funny. I mean, that's the cool thing, is that as long as they never get into their formation, they'll never start going in the circle. They'll always just kind of hop in one spot. So as long as you always put one of them off from getting back to their starting spot, it just never starts. And you'll see that in like the Ice Armos fight in like an NMG, because like players will shoot up and to the left to make sure that like two different Armos are like off sync. All right, Checkerboard Cave. What do we got up in here?
All right, is the mirror gonna claim another victim? Nah, not yet.
Nice heart container though.
Yeah, he's like, nah. Yeah, he's like, nah.
I don't blame him. Blue mail, 11 hearts. It's pretty cozy already. But I've played plenty of hard mode seeds, so I'm used to this being my max. This is all I get right here. I gotta say, I mean, I think one of the things I'd like to see for the next tournament is if we do a similar format like this, I personally would like to see top 96, the group stages, have only hard mode. Oh, look, there's the West Wing Swamp in. Cash and cash, so that's good to get out of the way. Honestly, with that knowledge, a swamp dip for hookshot does not sound as bad, to be honest. I still would rather do a bunch of other better stuff, like, clear dungeons I can actually clear, but having that knowledge it's pretty convenient.
It is. I don't know. It's now 4 versus 6 items in Swamp 2. Of course, you'd only be able to access the first 4 chests. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe big chest, depending on where Big Key is as well. So, I don't know. I honestly don't know where I'd go with that hint. I think it's just kind of the same, except I know that left side's gonna be 2 items.
I mean, Swamp would still not even be on my mind at this point.
Yeah.
Like, maybe after, like, I finish Ice and... Oh, but Ice is a pendant. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
never mind. I don't want to go there either. But, I mean, here's the thing. After Desert, all we have left, the only options we have left are... No, T-Rock is done as well. Yeah, all we have left is pendant dungeons, so...
Yep.
That's, It's not a fun situation to be in when you have nothing but pendant dungeons to dip. And it's like, all right, which one's the better pendant dungeon? We are seeing our Skull Woods play finally. First 2 chests being a small key and the big key.
So I guess a good index to kind of... Oh, there's Powder. Wow, so there's a fetch quest we haven't seen yet. That actually can put him back in it. That's nice.
Yeah.
I was going to say, so good index for Swamp to see if it's good to dip it or not without the hookshot is that you have to understand that the maximum amount of items you're going to get is 4. Minimum you're going to get is 2. So with that hint, getting the 2 items there, you have to go in knowing that there's a good chance you can actually not get any other items. So
that's true.
And
but there is also a hint in there as well that might be worth grabbing. Ooh, jmeasher not having much luck with this bomb jump. I was laughing because he... Oh my gosh!
There it is, dude!
Oh... No! No, that's fine. It's fine. Remember, we don't need the mirror yet. And there's a tempered sword on. Oh wow, another boss with the tempered sword. Oh, we might need the mirror for desert.
I was gonna say, yeah. So he needs that mirror for desert potentially. It just all depends on where the book is. If the book is in Hookshot Cave, or if Fire Rod's in Hookshot Cave, I mean, it's gonna be a while till Matt goes in there. Honestly,
I don't like being that guy, but I call him that. That's huge. That is really unfortunate. I mean, I think it's one of those situations where I'm behind. I should just immediately react to this thing I just got instead of efficiently checking stuff near me, like Bumper Cave. And I mean, that was both items out of skulls, so we know that the rest is not fire-locked. Nothing of value is back there. Of course, we're still thinking about that pedestal, which at this point can only be ether. That'd be the only thing of value it could possibly be at this point. But yeah, that's a good find. And you know, it's kind of fortunate for Makinx that he hasn't found anything else of value, or like, you know, he hasn't found ether or he hasn't found fire rod, because as soon as he does, like, he might be on the right track to never do Skull Woods. So, which isn't necessarily the right track, but
yeah. I think Mac, he'll have to kind of route there eventually. Again, we'll have to see what Hookshot potentially does unlock. I think for jmeasher's, for his hope, honestly, for this race to keep in it, Hookshot doesn't unlock anything except for progression to beat the game. Just to get it across that Moldorm 2 gap. And there's ether, so that's gonna pull him right towards Meyer.
yeah,
That is so fortunate for jmeasher. That's crazy.
So, if Fire Rod is in Meyer, which I've seen that, the amount of times I've seen like lamp lead to Fire Rod, or Fire Rod lead to lamp, it's I mean, it's not huge, but like those kind of seeds always stand out to me. This could be very interesting. We could see Makinx, you know, clearing GT, looking for that hook shot. It's possible.
This we've got some new life in this race now. This is exciting. I mean, this is Rando at its finest. Really is that.
Yeah.
You think someone's out of it, and then it's just one item. What? Oh, he carried the bird.
He carried the bird. That's fine. I approve of carrying the bird. You know.
I was like, wait, what?
You gotta bring him inside so you can warm up. You know. Bird toss. That's like old. I can't believe I even said the words, but no, it's all about you gotta carry the bird in there.
We're gonna hold it to get against you forever, by the way, for that. But yeah, I'm all about the bird smash, honestly, myself.
Bird smash, yeah, it's
bird smash, good. Yeah.
You know, as a first-time commentator, I could see someone saying that. That makes sense. Oh, piece of heart is in the castle. That's what the hint was there that we missed. All right, well. At this point, pedestal is 100% dead, so that's good. With Skullwoods being a pendant, it can't be Fire Rod, so which is good for these players. They don't have to think about that anymore. Well, it's good for Makinx. jmeasher doesn't know yet, but he just got his boots. So jmeasher needs to find. Honestly, if jmeasher finds Fire Rod and Book in that hookshot cave, then we know that the mirror is not required. But right now, it is looking like he's going to need that mirror if he wants to get into desert. It's just one of the things that I like about Desert Palace as a dungeon. The fact that there's two entryways to get in there is fascinating to me. It's kind of like Meyer now is how Meyer is in inverted mode. You can either find the flute or you can mirror in there.
That was actually, speaking of that, was really one of the more intriguing things I thought was of Inverted was how much the stock has risen for Book. Not only giving you those item checks, but is essentially, it is required to enter in Desert. Definitely puts a different spin on the game, honestly, than having that kind of, I can get in with Mirror, I can get in with Book, doesn't really matter. So, it's also pretty neat.
It's interesting because, you know, a lot of people will kind of equate it to, oh, great, we got another Ice Rod. But Book is not like an Ice Rod, because Book actually leads to up to 4 or 5 items. maybe 6 if green pendant's at Landmola, while Ice Rod just leads to 2 items and a crystal pendant, you know, something like that. 1 item and then the green pendant, so it's a little bit more valuable, but I will say in the amount of inverted seeds I've played, the amount of times book has been my go mode item it's too high. Which just means I need to play more inverted.
Honestly, I've been missing it. I haven't played it in a couple of weeks, and maybe I'll give it a spin next couple of days, but yeah.
I've had 2 races in the group stages of inverted, and it's been fun. My group stages have been super chill, to be quite honest. I've done mostly like standard settings. I've had 2 key sanities, 1 Randomizer, 2 inverteds, and the rest have just been swordless, pretty much. All right, well, that is both items out of Misery Mire. Oh, it's, you know, jmeasher got some life with that hookshot. We're going to find out coming up right now what is in this hookshot cave. If that hookshot has a little bit more value, who knows? Maybe Fire Rod's in the back of Swamp Palace, possibility as well. He is missing out on, as far as we know, the mirror, which is required for him to get into desert, but he also needs to get Bombos from Digging Game. And at this point, I don't see him going there anytime soon. Moment of truth. What are we gonna get?
This is a big moment here.
$50. Big 20. It's not looking good. Oh,
actually,
jeez.
I think that's better, honestly, because then the Fire Rod will deflect away from that hookshot.
Yeah. So now for jmeasher, he needs that Fire Rod to be... Well, he needs it to be in Swamp, but he needs to get that beer. He needs to go do that. He is going to get Ether next, and he might just go straight into Mire.
Where was Bombos again?
Digging Game.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I just said that like 2 seconds ago. Do you have to go get your 5th cup of coffee? Is that where you went?
It's my first day.
It's my first day. You can't keep getting away with it. Actually, today you can. Next time you can. Yeah, unfortunately, because of how he routed, since he went to Village of Outcasts so early in the seed, because of course we had Dark World access as soon as you got into Kakariko, he didn't have enough money to do Digging Game, nor to even do the archery game to get money. So, which is surprising, going through all of Thieves Town and like not finding even like a big 20 or just something. Well, that is an interesting way to fight Vitreous when you have a bow. I don't think that's faster, but who am I to judge?
Oh, there it is. Divergence, guys.
We got a high five going on right here. Divergence. Shut up.
All right, Mac, what are you going to do? Are you going to make the play? Oh, he's going to make the play.
Is this either this is Skull Woods or this is Blacksmith, one of the two? I would assume Skull Woods. And basically, with that, I'd anticipate him going straight to Swamp. He could go up and do a hookshot cave, but that is so slow when you've already done everything else. You're just going up there for, what, 3 items?
Imagine Powder guarding Fire Rod.
Oh my gosh. That'd be great.
But yeah, it is looking like Fire Rod's going to be in one of our pendant dungeons, and it's just going to come down to that classic play of, hey, what would I rather do? Swamp or Ice? I don't know.
Even after all of this, personally, I would still go to ice. Just because of the amount of times I've seen Bombos leading to Fire Rod, or Fire Rod leading to Bombos in Ice Palace. It's kind of like the whole lamp leading to Fire Rod kind of thing. I've seen it a lot. And the whole 3 hints in there. Of course, you know, we have 4 items in Swamp, plus a 5th with the green pendant, so there's more value in Swamp, and you don't have to do left side, so it's fairly quick.
Yeah, I think I do Swamp, just because, again, I know left side is not worth, and even though I know it's now 4 items versus 3, you know, I'd rather just kind of get that out of the way. It's going to be, I think, quicker dip versus that ice play for 3 items.
Oh,
you are right. You are right. You will get the hints.
I mean, this is going to be real quick. He does have the mirror, and then he can check powder and then flute. We actually... Did we see purple chest? I don't think jmeasher turned it in.
No, he didn't.
Which, you know, after this, he might go pick up purple chest, or he might do digging game purple chest. So, where is that Fire Rod? And where are those silvers? I'm so used to just assuming that they're required from all the Swordless Seeds I've played and watched.
All right, Bat, what do you got for us today?
The other thing is Makinx still hasn't turned in his mushroom either. So that's another fetch quest we haven't seen. It's a big 20.
That's exciting.
Yay!
So yeah, on the subject of mushroom, he'll probably go for a purple chest here and then cash that in right after, I imagine. But after that, there's not really much Mac can do. I mean, yeah, he can go back up for Hookshot Cave, like you mentioned. But again, after that, Swamp Rice.
Swamp Rice. I mean, they're gonna put off those pendages as long as they possibly can. And the crazy thing is, if jmeasher had gotten Bombos, and I could have seen him dip Ice Palace, like looking for the mirror or looking for something there. And, you know, we've seen so many races where, like, players miss out on a required item and make some sort of less than ideal plays that ends up leading them to another required item and then completely turns the tides. We've seen that several times. I mean, we kind of saw that with the hookshot, but unfortunately that didn't really lead to much.
Also, I do believe Fat Fairy has not been checked either.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I mean, it's 2 items. But for Makinx, it's 3, since he hasn't checked the pyramid item yet, I don't think. This might be straight in a swamp for Makinx as well, since he did bring the portal all the way down here. I know he wanted to check, you know, the South of Grove ledge, cave, whatever.
Yeah, it's either gonna be swamp or bomb, and he's so far north it looks like bomb, and that's exactly what it's gonna be. Alright, so we're gonna see what Fat Fairy is. Again, not a lot of options left on the table. For jmeasher, he does seem like he inevitably does need to find that mirror, unless of course maybe Ice Palace has a book, which would probably save him, and maybe the Fire Rod combo, that'd be great for him.
It's crazy, we've had this mirror for so long, and it still might not even be required. It's, I don't know, one of those cool, interesting things about the game is that, you know, not every progression item is actually a progression item. The amount of times I found a book and thought, oh, I should go check the tablets, and they lead to nothing. I'm like, stupid book. Book is like the biggest red herring in this game.
The ultimate fetch quest.
The ultimate. Now, it's not so bad in overall glitches, because you can just, you know, zip right up there. You don't have to go through the dark world or anything like that, but it's not what we're playing today. All right, 2 items coming up. What do we got? Fire rod, book, $50, bombs. At this point, you got to be feeling a little stressed out. It's so hard to make that decision to go into a pendant dungeon when you have overworld spots to check.
Yeah.
Because it's like any one of these spots could be the answer. Has Makinx not... No, he might not have done Hobo. It makes sense. It's kind of an out-of-the-way location. This is a faster way to check it. It's not one that you see very often.
We get a mushroom cash in from jmeasher here, so we're gonna get our first get on what's going on over here.
It's just a hard container.
Yeah.
Come on. All right. Well, this is looking like an Ice Palace play if I've ever seen one. Lake Hylia didn't have anything either. I don't think so.
Is he going for the hint?
No.
Nah.
Why would he do that?
Oh, he's going for Blind Hylia. Yeah, he's going for Blind Hylia Island.
That's so interesting. I've never seen these routing options before. All right, well, this is the hookshot cave play. He is really banking on these overworld locations to bail him out, which I understand because, like, if you could skip if you can skip 2 pendant dungeons, like, the amount of time save is great.
So, I mean, what you're probably looking at this point is Mac has 6 crystals done in an hour and 11, and he's 1 item away from go. That's, like, fantastic pace. He knows Turtle Rock's not an option because he's already been in there and it's Fire Rod locked. So I think, the reason why he's banking so hard in Overworld is that he's worried that the seed might be almost too free. And he doesn't know where jmeasher is, so he's probably just leveraging and putting down his bet that, it's going to be Overworld and that's going to be his play. Like, if this was super even, like, it could come down to that whole, hey, did I make the play for Pendants or Overworld? At this point, so
yeah, it's also interesting to think about is because of how free the hook. Like, they could have had hookshot 7 minutes in.
Yeah.
So you got to be thinking, like, my opponent probably got this. I should go check hookshot cave because I know that they already checked it. And if there's something here, I need it and I want it right now. jmeasher going to be going to digging game. So that's good. He is going to be getting his bombos. But hopefully that doesn't make him go up to T-Rock to get his blue potion and get locked out immediately, because that would be a long trek for 0 gain. The only problem is because of 2 potentially required, well, 1 required item, 1 potentially required item being on 2 sides of Village of Outcasts. I mean, he might run back up to go get purple chest and then go up to check Bumper Cave. But that's not what he's going to do.
Oh, he's gonna make the play. Oh, he's thinking of. Oh, he's gonna make the play.
Oh, dang.
I thought he was gonna go to flute, and then, that hookshot is essentially signing the warrant that he's gonna make that play and risk TR having the fire rod or even having a mirror book. I gotta believe he might think he's behind at this point too to make this play, honestly, because you have other options down below, and TR is like the only thing up here he hasn't done.
Yeah,
so I have to imagine he identified that and he needs to make that play.
I mean, here's the thing: for him, he's a fire rod away from go mode, and if fire rod's in the, book as well, book or mirror. And he's got to be thinking, hey, maybe this is a fire rod or a mirror or something to the chest of T-Rock or something. So, but this is, unfortunately, it's a very... Oh, well, there you go. Green pendant is our red mail. Good to know. So he, depending on how this Swamp Palace, like, how the items lay out, he might be able to just skip fighting Argus as well. 2 items are on the left, so if you can rule that Argus is holding on to a map or a compass, then he can just bail. So, it's a good hint. I was kind of thinking jmeasher with that Bombos would head straight to Ice Palace as well. But go to the Crystal Dungeons.
Yeah, that's why
he might go there. He might actually go there next, to be honest. So we know left side swamp has cash and cash. We got a heart container in the first chest. So there's still 3 more items at large in this dungeon. He has the hook shot. He can check everything. And depending on how the dungeon layout is, he might be able to skip Argus. If the big key, like ideally, big key on Argus, and then a map or compass in the big chest would be perfect. This would be such a quick swamp that even if he doesn't find the fire rod, he wouldn't feel too far behind.
That's 4 items, because he knows, again, the left side's going to have those 2 items. So yeah, this is already turning out to be very quick. You might get the God Swamp here.
I hope jmeasher goes up there and checks that hint. Go check that hint. Why are you not checking hint? Why would you not check that?
He's like, I got this. I need
got
these
this.
hints. Yeah.
My answer is in this dungeon.
Imagine if it was telling him where the mirror was.
Oh no. The mirror requires a cape. Oh.
Whoops.
Whoops. But I already checked Spike Cave. Did he? I don't remember if he did.
There is a distinct possibility he might have it in his head, or maybe even a tracker that he's checked it to. So,
yeah,
we don't know. Maybe he's just kind of banking that it's nothing. Maybe he's forgotten about it. Who knows?
Well, item number 5 was the mirror shield, and Makinx is gonna go back to check the big chest. And if it ends up being the map, I'm gonna laugh. $300. That's it. Get out of there. All right, Ice Palace it is. That's it. So at this point, it's pretty much it's pretty much over. I mean, Makinx has just had so much time, especially with the boots. He's cleared literally everything.
Yeah.
It's going to be just impossible for even if jmeasher finds like a book or something to allow him to skip the mirror entirely. It's going to be tough. I mean, here's the thing: he could find Fire Rod and book, and then just go straight finish desert. But this is pretty much Makinx's race to lose.
It is, and I think we both know Fire Rod's going to be here in Ice, and that's really just going to push jmeasher over to TR. And again, he's already going to make that climb again. He could find a book there. It could be in GT, and I think for his sake, he definitely wants that book there.
Oh, careful there. Don't drop whatever you're holding.
That's me.
Unique item is in Tower of Hero.
That's me needing that 5th coffee right there.
Oh, there's the fire rod, right there in the freezer, double freezer room. So,
and he's out of there.
Once again, the bomb post leads to fire rod. It's almost predictable at this point.
Yeah, it's like a PRNG or something like that exists.
No, that's not a thing. That's a myth. You take that back. That is a breach of contract. You signed that NDA.
TOS.
Well, I mean, here's the sitch. So, Makinx is going to get his fire rod, hits go mode, straight to T-Rock. They'll be in T-Rock around the same, at the same time. jmeasher hoping to find if jmeasher just finds a book here, then he can actually skip that mirror entirely. But, and then the race is going to end up being relatively close. But if book is, in fact, in G Tower, then that's pretty much GG. Makinx a little late on the setup. You have plenty of time if you want to, do the normal double bomb setup, check the hit as well. But I think him running into the Southwest Knight kind of made that a little bit harder.
I think his timing was off by about a second and a half, just scoffing at the hint that the Swamp Pig chest was nothing.
It always happens.
He's like, no way, dude.
Makinx a little bit low on health, deciding to not worry about the bomb jump. I think this is also just one of those, like, I'm going to full clear this dungeon probably anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much. Doesn't make that big of a difference. Fortunately for him, he's not going to have to do too much unless he routes interestingly. The fire rod location in here for me would be bad, because I would do exactly what Makinx is doing right now, which is go to the back, check the hint, do all the right side, then go to freezer room. Doesn't check the hint. All right. He's had enough. He's had enough of those hints. I mean, at this point, he doesn't need hints, to be honest.
Yeah.
He has everything he needs. I mean, unless it's the rare occasion of, like, book in here leading to fire rod at one of the tablets or something dumb. To be honest, I don't know why he was checking the other hints. No, I mean, this is going to give jmeasher a little bit of time to catch up, but at this point, it really doesn't matter unless we find the book. We need the book in here for jmeasher to stand any sort of chance.
What else does he have now that he, like, say he doesn't find book here? What else would he have in the world? The only thing that really comes to mind is, like, what? Powder and I think...
Powder, purple chest. And Bumper Cave, yeah.
Yo, that's super funny.
It's a little one man.
Nice.
And a vanilla big key and T-Rock is also beneficial for jmeasher, so none of this stuff, this extra checks, is going to hurt him. But yeah, this item location for Fire Rod would be painful for me, because I've been doing a weird route where, much like Makinx, I'll go up there, fall down, hook shot across, check all the right side, then I'll go up and fall down again, run down and check the T room, and then bomb jump over and check the freezers and big chest.
And then you're just like, it was so free.
It was so free. I could have just ran over here and did this first.
All right, so Makinx in go now, 122. Going to be heading up to TR clear, and he'll be able to enter GT. jmeasher, a bit of a different story. I mean, he doesn't have desert access yet. Lacking a mirror or a book as a prerequisite for desert access. So really rooting for him to find a book here. Yeah. If he doesn't, I mean, he's got to find that mirror soon, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the worst thing about this is this could just be a simple case of it's not so much like they forgot the location exists, because a lot of people just assume, oh, he forgot Bumper Cave, or he mistracked it or something. But a lot of times, it's just a case of I'm just going to assume it's not there. I'm just going to assume there's nothing there. If there's something there, I already lost. It's one of those cases, so they do literally everything else before they make that decision to go back. Will be interesting to hear from him, hopefully, what his thought process was for that. I think that's also kind of a product of his routing at the beginning of the seed. Because of him starting at Village of Outcast and going south, he kind of segmented that section. And just, you know, he didn't have a mirror to send him over to, like, Graveyard Ledge or something like that, so... Moment of truth, where is that book? And it's scarily looking like it's going to be in GT. Oh, this is not good for jmeasher.
Oh.
That might be it.
I think that's
I don't know if Trinex is holding on to an item or not, but... Yeah, Makinx is going to be able to skip Laser Bridge. Doesn't have to worry about it at all. Once he gets that big key from its vanilla chest, he is going to be just shooting straight over to Trinex, and then right over to GT. So,
all right. So on jmeasher's menu there, that did confirm that he did get the 5th item as bombs. So he's gonna have to go hunt for that mirror, it seems.
yeah, and that's how many items did we end up seeing in Ice Palace? I know I saw bombs in the fire out. There might be a 3rd item in ice. I'm not sure. What an interesting turn of events.
I just thought of something.
What?
So because Booker, well, we know Mirror wouldn't be here because Book wasn't here. jmeasher's options are really quite nasty at this point. I mean, he can double dip ice or he can go to swamp now. Oh wait, no, he can't go to swamp. No Mirror. Never mind. It's okay.
No, he can't go to swamp. Swamp is dead. Swamp is super dead.
Swamp is dead. It's super dead.
Oh, this Trinex fight, phase 2 is getting a little out of hand for jmeasher. Oh gosh, he's gotta be careful. He only has blue mail, so
that's close.
He would take a death here. Okay. Yeah, I just elect a hammer the entirety of this boss. The only time I use, if I have Master Sword, the only time I use it is on the second head, on the ice head, like while I'm waiting for the fire head to finish exploding, so that I can switch to hammer after stunning it. Just getting a few whiffs in, but yeah, hammer all the way for that phase 2. It's a little tricky, but I don't trust my Master Sword at all.
It is awkward to use, honestly, in a Trinex fight. I mean, the times you'd use hammer or even have tempered fort, it's just really unfamiliar territory most of the times. All right, where's he gonna go?
He still has Pyramid Fairy to do, so he'll probably knock that out, and then which just makes sense. But dang, I mean, we've seen it countless times. One single location deciding the entire race, pretty much. It's also interesting because, you know, if he hadn't have missed that mirror... Oh, wait, where is he going? I don't know.
Oh, I know what he's doing.
Did you forget the bomb?
I do this all the time.
Oh no, he tried to go plant the bomb.
Yeah, you forgot. You completely forget about the big bomb and you're just like, oh, I'm just going to go to Pyramid now.
I mean, he's got to, like... I don't know. I don't know how you make that mistake.
I can't explain it. I've done it so many times.
You're dashing though. It's like you can't do that with the bomb. So you gotta know. You can't do it.
I mean, Rando plays like very weird tricks and odd tricks on your brain, honestly. It's like you feel like you're doing the right thing and you're like, oh, I gotta go to this location. But yeah, you forget you're walking with this this big pink bomb.
I mean, it's no different than I'm gonna go kill land mullahs. Oh, I don't have a fire source. Well, never mind.
Yeah, it's essentially the same thing.
Or I'm in go mode, but I forgot to pick up the big key in the front half.
Yo, that entry though.
Nice and swift. Hey, here's the other thing. That book, I mean, it's at this point, it's more than likely in GT. It could be in Mimic Cave. We don't know.
Yeah.
We'll never know. I also love I'm gonna go into Mire. Oh, I don't have any fire sources, so this is a terrible idea. Oh, hi, Fire Rod. Never mind.
Or that's like or hammer or something like that. Yeah.
Well, jmeasher is gonna go see his third sword. With the other one being on land mullahs. Well, he is hopefully fluting to 3. Agonist Cave at this point. This is actually going to be last location. Oh, yeah. Hey, we got 22 chests coming up, and one of those chests is going to be the Gannett Tower Big Cube, which we're going to need to get up the gauntlet. In speed gaming, we like to run a little game, so you guys already know what you're doing, so I don't even really need to do much of an intro. But, I don't know, I'm feeling like number 8.
I'll go with 12 today.
All right. A compass. A small key. I'm just waiting for book to pop up. Actually, I really want it to be like 21 so I can see where the book is. All right, this is it, guys. Unless he goes and does purple chest instead. Assuming he hasn't done it yet. It's also really impressive being at an hour and 30 minutes in GT and having literally done everything in the game. So, Makinx probably still, at this point, feeling a little behind.
He's played great this seed, just execution-wise, navigating, and even routing with the equipment he had. Just kind of, high silvers. Jmeasher actually going for the purple chest right now too. So I don't know. I don't know when he's gonna go to bumper.
It's hard to tell.
Point. Yeah.
I mean, if he doesn't do it immediately after this, then we can conclude that he has forgotten its existence or mismarked it or something. All right, number 7 is a herpes. Oh boy, go get it. 15 hearts would be nice, right? When you have blue mail temper. I mean, he didn't turn in green pendant. He didn't get green pendant and turn it in to get his red mail. So he might need some more health. Yeah, I'm concluding that he has forgot entirely about Bumper Cave. He is actually going back into Ice Palace.
Yeah, he's definitely forgotten at this point, and that concludes that tale. So we have a good gist of what happened here, unfortunately. And you know what? We've all been here, and it's like the law of rando is that if you forget something, it's always something. It's ruthless.
Yep, every time. It's like, oh right, I never checked pyramid.
Yep.
Oh look, it's the mirror.
Yep.
That actually, the last race I had with jmeasher, we were doing inverted, and I'm like, I'll check mirror I'll check pyramid once I get the mirror, because I can just mirror outside of Hyrule Castle, real easy. But when the mirror's on the pyramid, that's not really an option. So, of course, I did literally everything else before I got it.
Yeah. Countless losses for me. I mean, even like we had the entrance showcase yesterday, and it was like one location I forgot to check, and it gated half the seed. And again, it's just one of those things. And again, always seems to be that one thing that you don't catch that kind of bites you.
I honestly still really hope that Book is here in Ice Palace and Mirror was actually not required at all.
Same.
That'd be super interesting, because if he had just, if a player had gone into Ice early and full cleared it, it would have been very different. Well, we're not going to see it in here because Makinx has everything he needs. He's not even I can't imagine him checking any more chests in this dungeon, even if the gauntlet. But 133, 26 heading up the gauntlet. That was what? What chest was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16? 17, if you count Torch, which we do. 17! That's not 12 or 8! Solski, we were wrong. I guess we're not getting paid then. Dang.
Nah.
That's part of the contract. If you guess the GT Big Key guessing game, then you get paid. Dang. So we've seen most of Ice Palace. There's just the Ice Tea Room and Cold Stare. I don't remember if we've seen all 3 items. I know we've seen at least 2. So...
yeah, definitely seen 2 here, and... I mean, I hope Book's here, honestly, because I don't think there's anything else left.
Where's that book? Where's that? Move that
Where's
bus.
my book? Where's my book?
Buy my book. Buy my book. It's a really old reference for you kiddos out there. It's a good show. I need to watch it again. I can't get over the reuse of animation. It just looks so bad, but it's okay. Anyway, nice gauntlet for Makinx so far. Let's see if he's going to use those silver strats to take out Land Walls too. Let's see if he gets that beautiful one cycle. Nice. You don't really see much of the top-down attack with the silver arrows for Land Walls too. A lot of times people like stand right in the center and kind of shoot left, right, and then down. But you know, sometimes you miss, and then you got to do it again. So that was good. That was good work.
Mac making pretty quick work of GT, actually. His execution's been pretty solid all race.
Yeah. No real big flubs at all, which is always good to see. Oh, could you imagine if Book was on the pedestal in this seed? Oh, no.
Oh my god.
It's rare.
Calm down there, Twitch chat.
I'm literally reading it on Twitch chat, so yes. You guys need to calm down. Yeah, there's the big key, so big chest or bust. Though I think, well, no, I guess Cold Start could have a small key, so.
So we just had a quick question in chat. So why does jmeasher need it? So he needs mirror because we know that unless Book is here in Ice Palace, there's no other access to a Crystal Dungeon Desert Palace. So they're going to need that mirror just to kind of go through the Mire Shed area and be able to mirror towards Desert. And I believe he just got the third item in Ice and is bouncing out.
Yep.
So yeah, that confirms it.
And him standing there for extended period of time makes me think that he doesn't know what he missed, so he might be double checking stuff, or we might see that map screen come up. Taking a look around, but yeah, this is looking... It does look like he has forgotten. Which sucks. That sucks.
Yeah, it's a bad feeling.
Because then you think to yourself, oh man, if I hadn't have done that, how was the seed could have possibly gone?
See,
but
really...
I mean...
Sorry, go ahead.
That's just part of the random, man. Sometimes it's happened to all of us. You know, you forget a location. That's why people use like map trackers and stuff, in case the easy way to avoid it. Though I'm not a big fan of map trackers in general because it's part of the game. Being able to recognize, memorize, remember what you've done. I'm more of like pencil and paper taking notes. I've written down a few hints that I found. But yeah. I don't know if jmeasher does use a map tracker or not. I don't think he does. I think this is just a unfortunate error, and with that, Makinx is heading into the Ganon fight, which should be pretty free with Tempered Sword and Silvers.
Yeah, he's not a Soulski. He's gonna actually kill Ganon here and not die.
It's not over yet. This is still a race. There's still time. And then afterwards, he's got to go take on Mother Brain, and though I don't know, he's kind of low on supers. Is jmeasher actually going back to go check the vanilla big key chest, thinking that it was an item and he miscounted? It's interesting because the mirror can lock out so many locations. I mean, for him, it's locking out all of Swamp and all of Desert, and then like the overworld locations as well. It's almost kind of bad that he found the hookshot, to be honest. And then that hookshot not actually leading to anything. That looked like the torch is eating Makinx's input, so he didn't get a fire rod. Nice triple to finish things off.
Yeah, good
and
triple
with
there.
that, Once Makinx walks into that door, he's going to be sitting at a nice, comfy 7-5. One step closer to tying. At this point, all he can hope for is that Data World drops all of his games, and then they both tie for second. But GG's to him, finishing at a time of 139.41. GG's in chat. And of course, an immediate follow-up with a dot forfeit from jmeasher. And already discussing the seed. And he knows about that mirror at Bumper Cave. But what a race. An interesting race. Really weird back and forth. All came down, I'm so wondering where that book was. I bet it, it's in GT. We already know that. It's in GT or it's mirror locked. Well, it's just generally mirror locked at this point.
Yeah, and it was kind of weird how the seed played out too, because, like you mentioned, mirror unlocked all of Swamp, all of Desert at that point, plus a couple of mirror locked locations, but the seed was very open. Very kind of bizarrely too. We've seen a lot of seeds in this tournament where it's kind of been like item progression leading to the next location after the next location. In this instance, Hookshot Independent Skull was kind of out of nowhere and didn't really lead to the Fire Rod either. So just kind of an odd seed altogether, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, as far as I know, it appears that they are doing a doubleheader. So I don't believe we're going to be getting either of them in for an interview, which is unfortunate. But it does.
You already got me.
Well, I don't want you. Get out
Got
of here.
him.
Well, that's what I get for listening to chat. GG's, Makinx.
Thanks.
How'd you feel about them boots up in Hero? Isn't that pretty good?
Oh, yeah, pretty nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt really happy going to Hera kind of early. Did I have the bow at that point? Yeah, I think so. So I had Pod and Eastern open. And I decided to do Death Mountain first. Because, the item density up there.
Mm-hmm. The only thing you were at risk of was missing Hookshot to check Hookshot Cave at that time as well. But
true, yeah.
With the Hookshot being completely free, which was a interesting situation.
Yeah, I missed it because of where the mirror was. It made me go to the right instead of back to Skullwoods.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. If the mirror wasn't on Bumper Cave, I would have just gone into Skullwoods and checked that out.
Well,
so that's why I went so late.
If the beer wasn't on Bumper Cave, this would have been a very interesting seed.
It would have been very different. Yeah, I heard
very different.
I heard he missed the Bumper Cave. Yeah, so he was kind of lost. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, we were just kind of sitting back. He was the first one to get Hookshot, so we were like, all right, shot, lead to book or fire out, something like that. We've been waiting this entire time for the book to show up to make mirror completely useless, but we never found it. So I'm assuming it's mirror locked somewhere or in GT.
Yeah, it's probably in GT or something, but I don't know. The Hookshot. I don't think the Hookshot unlocked anything other than the back of Swamp Palace.
No, I mean,
it
definitely didn't lead to anything of value.
No,
other than
no progression at all. Yeah, other than making me beat the game. So, go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead. I was gonna say something dumb.
Oh, I was gonna say the only thing I really forgot to do was to check the dig spot in the Grove.
Oh yeah, I think it was 10 arrows, so you didn't miss out on much.
I only realized that after I finished. I'd never checked that, so I almost forgot about the mushroom. Almost forgot about the mushroom. I realized I hadn't checked it when I went into Swamp, so figured I'd finish Swamp first. At least that was a short check. Yeah,
that was nice. The hint for left side, and then the hint for green pendant right in the front, and then the hint for big chest and ice.
That was pretty good. That made me leave Swamp really early, so that was nice. Yeah. So I could have done Ice Palace a little faster by just checking that one chest first, which had the fire rod in the end.
It was an interesting seed because Hookshot could have been in GT. You just need fire rod, and you were so close to being able to skip every single pendant dungeon. And then once you're done doing Overworld, it's like, well, now I gotta pick Swamp or Ice. Was your decision to go to Swamp because you had the hints about left side, so you knew it was going to be at least a quicker check?
Yeah,
than
definitely.
Swamp?
I knew there were 4 items available, which is still more than the 3 available in Ice Palace. So, and it was going to be a quicker check than Ice Palace because left side was not required. That's why I went to the swamp first.
Do you subscribe to the whole bombos leading to fire rod and ice being like a common occurrence?
Not really.
Like...
No.
Yeah.
It was like that this time, yeah. But
yeah,
I never really think about it.
I guess I see it a lot. So anytime I have bombos and I'm like an hour and something into the seed, I'm like, well, I guess I gotta go get my fire rod and ice palace. Let's go.
It wasn't on my mind this time anyway. So
okay.
That's because there was so much stuff to do.
It could have been anywhere. It could have been in the overworld. I mean, you'd think that hookshot would be like later on in the season, but that one was just sitting right there. It was sitting right there.
Yeah. Well, I was really glad to find it.
Yeah, I bet.
Because
searching all of GT for a hookshot and then it being in the overworld somewhere like Catfish or something is not a good feeling.
Yeah, no. That sucks. Yeah. Had that before.
Yeah. Yeah, with that, you're sitting at 7 and 5. I mean, at this point, you need to win out, and you need Data World to lose all of his matches, to at least finish in the group stage with a tiebreaker for second place. So, how you feeling about, at least since the Data World match is completely out of your control? How you feeling about finishing out with victories in the rest of your races, including our beautiful race that's going to be on Saturday at 7 p.m.
Yeah, I don't know. I already lost twice to you, so that's going to be the toughest one, I think.
Please beat him.
Please
knock
me out.
Yeah, I will try. I will try very hard. I haven't lost to any of the other players except Data World, so I feel pretty confident.
All right.
About my other matches, at least. Yeah.
It's going to be a good match. I'm looking forward to watching it, and I believe you guys have another match coming up it's scheduled in another hour.
Yeah, it's in about 40 minutes. Yeah, in an hour with a 20-minute delay. Yeah, definitely.
Well, good stuff. Well, thank you so much. This was a fun race. Solsky, if you have any questions for our guy?
No, I'm good. Just GG's, great race.
Thank you.
Yeah, really good execution throughout. It's always good to watch really good execution throughout a race. And, despite full clearing pretty much the entire game before going into GT, going in there at right around an hour and 30 is pretty good. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, I felt pretty good about this one.
Alrighty. Well, good luck in your next race.
Thank you.
To both you and jmeasher. I'll be lurking for sure. Whether it's restream or not, I'll find a way.
He went to grab a bite. Yeah, so he's not here.
I believe it is going to be on this channel.
Yep.
So don't go anywhere, guys. It's going to be fun. But thank you, man. GG's.
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you, guys. See ya.
Thank you guys all for watching. Of course, if you enjoyed the show, make sure to do the thing. If you want to follow the runners, commentators, whatever you find an effective way of supporting us or just following this channel in general, appreciate it. Thank you, Solsky, for letting me join you on this comms. It's a good time.
Thank you for joining me. It was a lot of fun.
And also a big shout out to our tracker, OSS Geek. Thank you much. Fantastic job as always. And chat, thank you guys for existing. You guys are great. Keep doing that thing.
Way to be alive. Good job, guys.
Way to be alive. Appreciate it. All right. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.
Take care, everyone. Have a good one.